Hello and welcome to this edition of Culture Mosaic, a weekly cultural journal that brings you the latest updates on the Vietnamese cultural and entertainment scenes. Music is a great element to spread the knowledge of a culture to the world. Our Culture Mosaic this week will show you two approaches of using music to spread the image of Vietnam to the world. Vietnamese-German singer Trọng Hiếu let his Vietnamese origin shine in his performance at Eurovision Song Contest, making him the first ever Asian singer in the final round of this contest. On the other hand, a Vietnamese American used traditional Vietnamese folk instruments, đàn tranh, to spread the love for Vietnamese culture. So from music, we'll move to cuisine by introducing you a unique dish called young jackfruit pickle, and why it is an interesting feature of the central Vietnam. So stay with us with more to come your way in just a minute. Young jackfruit pickle, a recipe from central Vietnam. Trọng Hiếu shines with historic performance at German Eurovision Song Contest. And Vietnamese American spreads love for đàn tranh. Now, let's begin with some local news. Outstanding artists and athletes were honored at the annual Cống Hiến or Devotion Awards 2023. Among the 9 music categories, singer Hoàng Thùy Linh won 3 prizes: Best Music Video, Best Female Singer, and Album of the Year. Mono, real name Nguyễn Việt Hoàng, was named as New Artist of the Year, while the awards for Male Singer, Producer, and Musician of the Year went to Tùng Dương, D-Tap, and Khắc respectively. This year, for the first time, the event featured new categories for sports in addition to music. Leading Vietnamese fashion designer Minh Hạnh showcased her collection of 100 áo dài at the heritage space of Mercati di Traiano in Rome on April the 1st. The event, part of the program entitled Áo dài and Silk, a journey connecting heritages, was held by the Embassy of Vietnam in Italy in order to mark the 50 years of diplomatic ties between the two countries. 30 Vietnamese and Italian models performed together in a colorful show. The real highlight of the event was when the audience were able to admire 120 hand-embroidered costumes and nearly 100 sets of modern and liberal áo dài designs on the 2,000-euro city walls. All of them are made from the natural silk of Vietnam. Throughout the program, the image of áo dài, conical hat, bamboo, and silk made a strong impression on the audience. Chân dung mẹ tôi, Portrait of My Mother, by late Vietnamese painter Nam Sơn, was sold for 200,000 euros in Paris. The price was determined at the Drouot auction house on March the 30th. Portrait of My Mother was the sole work auctioned, and bids were submitted both online and in person. The oil painting illustrates the artist's mother, Nguyễn Thị Lan, sitting on a chair. She is seen in a green tunic with a scarf covering her head, and a rosary around her neck, and golden charm imprinted with the 4 words Tiết hạnh khả phong, a title given to widows in Vietnamese imperial times to honor them. It was exhibited at the 1931 International Colonial Exhibition in Paris and introduced in the Salon exhibition by Association of French Artists in 1932, where the painting was given a silver medal. The 7th Vietnam International Choir Competition opened in Hội An City of the central Quảng Nam province on April the 2nd. The event has taken place since 2011, except for the last 3 years due to the impact of COVID-19. It ran until April the 6th, drawing the participation of nearly 600 conductors and artists from 18 teams representing 7 countries and territories, including Vietnam. The artists performed in men's and women's mixed and equal voices in sacred choral music, hymns, chamber music, and folklore with different age groups. On this occasion, Hội An City also held several activities to introduce its culture and specialty products to visitors. A Tourist Guide to Love, a new adventure romantic comedy from Netflix, will be available for streaming later in April. The 2-minute trailer and series of photos feature beautiful Vietnamese landscapes interwoven with a love story and impressive images of traditional Vietnamese culture such as xích áo dài, and a water puppet show. A Tourist Guide to Love is the first foreign film to be shot in Vietnam after the COVID-19 pandemic. The film tells a story about a travel executive who accepts an assignment to go undercover and learn about the tourist industry in Vietnam. Along the way, she finds adventure and romance with her Vietnamese expat tour guide when they decide to reroute the tour bus to explore life and love off the beaten path. The script was written by Vietnamese-American Irene Donohue and was inspired by her own travels exploring her homeland. Ho Chi Minh City launched its first ever bánh mì Vietnamese Sandwich Festival from March the 30th to April the 2nd at District 1's Youth Cultural House in order to promote the traditional dish to locals and tourists. The first of its kind in Vietnam, the event features 120 stalls from leading bakeries, restaurants, and food suppliers from around the country, as well as foreign businesses. At the event, visitors had the chance to browse and enjoy a wide variety of bánh mì with many types of fillings, including a vegetarian, as well as other baked goods and sweets. In addition to food-related activities, there were also musical performances, a conference on the history and development of bánh mì, and an award ceremony to honor top long-standing bakery brands, which have been established for more than 50 years in Vietnam, as well as other exhibition events. The dishes that people in the central provinces of Nghệ An and Hà Tĩnh long for the most when they live away from their hometowns is nhút mít. For them, the dish means home. In the past, due to the white sand and hot winds that would sweep in from Laos, the locals could not grow much and thus had little to eat for several months of the year. Humble yet tasty, nhút mít made the frugal meals of locals more delicious. Do you want to know what kind of dish this is and how the locals make it? So let's learn more about the story of nhút mít in the following report.
Jackfruit, lemongrass, leeks, fresh chili, eggplant, galangal, and mung bean leaves. These are the ingredients used to make nhút mít. To be precise, nhút mít can be described as a kind of pickle made of jackfruit. The fruit, rich in fiber, is fermented, so it can be eaten year-round and has been part and parcel of the daily meals of people in central Vietnam.
Đi làm đồng đi mó về thì có sàn đổ ra, làm miếng nhút ra ăn là được. Hẳn là một cái món ăn để ăn cùng cơm, nhưng có cái vị của nó là có mặn, có ngọt, có chua, cho nên gọi là nhút.
Ngày nào cũng có nhút mít ăn. Mà ở đây có phong tục là nếu cái mua đậu xanh là ta nấu canh đậu xanh để ăn với cái nhút này.
Most people in the region know how to make pickled jackfruit, but residents here are confident that the tastiest nhút mít comes from their hometown.
Làm các cái món này cần phải công phu và kiên trì. Món nhút mít của Hương Liên là có cái truyền thống làm nghề từ lâu đời và những cái kinh nghiệm dày dặn trong cái cách làm nhút của chị em ở đây.
Nhút tự làm thì phải quan trọng nhất là cái khâu chuẩn bị nguyên liệu để làm. Quả mít là không già, không non, ngon nhất là loài mít mật.
Jackfruit skin has to be peeled off under running water because when it's young, the fruit contains a lot of latex, which is extremely sticky. Water helps remove the latex. Next, the flesh of the jackfruit is cut into threads and mixed with other ingredients.
Trong cái món nhút là gồm có 7 vị. Ngoài ra thì chỉ có muối trắng thôi và không hề có chất bảo quản. Độ giòn của quả cà pháo này, vị thơm này, của kiều này, cái độ ngon của lá đầu ấy.
Tại sao mà người ta lại đợi bổ riêng hoặc gừng, bột sả hoặc ớt cay bổ vào để làm độ chín của cây nhút lên. Củ riêng đấy dư độ ấm thì cái nhút mít sẽ được lâu dài.
Well-mixed shredded young jackfruit and spices are placed in a jar, pressed with a bamboo frame and a big stone, and then covered with a thick cloth. The dish is ready to be served after 3 days, but it can be stored for a very long time. Nowadays, nhút meat is also canned and sold as a local specialty of Hương Khê district.
Chúng tôi chọn cái món nhút mít này để là đặc sản của Hương Liên chúng tôi đó. Người khách đi xa về thì có thể là họ mang một ít cái hộp nhút này để đi làm quà biếu cho những nơi khác. Cái số lượng bán ra tương đối nhiều, đi các tỉnh miền Nam, miền Bắc, thậm chí là đi sang nước ngoài.
Còn quả nào các cháu nè? Cái quả này làm nhất nó ngon này. Quả nè.
Whenever jackfruit season arrives, people in Hương Liên commune get excited about picking young jackfruit to make nhút meat. Although their lives have improved a lot, nhút meat is still one of their favorite foods, because it reminds people who live far away from home about their homeland and connects the younger generation with local traditions.
This image of German-born Vietnamese singer Trọng Hiếu wore an áo dài and a conical hat as he finished third in the German version of the Eurovision Song Contest has become a landmark moment for Vietnamese music, being the first ever Asian singer in the final round of Germany's Eurovision Song Contest. Trọng Hiếu impressed the audience with the fusion of traditional Vietnamese culture with modern fashion, as well as blending folk music with contemporary beats. In this week's On the Mic, let's meet singer Trọng Hiếu and learn more about his inspiring journey.
Mother country, Vietnam, opened my path to the music world. Germany allows me to live my dream. Maybe I'm the mix and the best of both worlds. Who am I? Here's Strong, aka Trọng Hiếu. I want to show the world that I have Vietnamese roots and I'm proud of that.
They don't say my name right. Yeah, I don't look the same.
Nguyễn Trọng Hiếu left a positive impression on foreign spectators during the finals of German Eurovision Song Contest, or ESC, held on March the 3rd. With a historic performance showcasing Vietnamese culture, coupled with greater music and visuals, the talented Vietnamese singer ranked third in the top 8 with 71 points. With his performance of the hit written by himself, Dare to be Different, Trọng Hiếu is the first Vietnamese in Asian in history to reach the final round of the ESC.
Hey guys, what's up? Here's Trong, aka Trọng Hiếu. Actually, I didn't have anything in my mind. I was just like doing my show. I was focusing on my performance, and I didn't think about like, okay, how much pressure was on my back. So I could enjoy the performance and I could have so much fun doing it. So to be honest, like, yeah, I didn't think about it like that. We are making history right now. You know, the song is called Dare to be Different. And when I was born and grew up in Germany, everybody saw me as Vietnamese or as Asian. When I work in Vietnam right now, everybody sees me as German. So I was kind of like, who am I? Where do I belong to? And with the song Dare to be Different, I just want to remember myself that maybe I'm the mix and the best of both worlds. So I should be proud of that I'm different. In my heart, I'm carrying the openness and the freedom of Germany, and but I'm very proud that I have Vietnamese roots. So that's why I wanted to perform on the German stage, but I want to have like those Vietnamese influences, like the traditional ones, like that everybody knows, right? Like áo dài, nón lá, and even like in the song, I have put đàn tranh as an instrument during the performance. I was singing quê hương Việt Nam, đưa con đi thật xa. Danke Deutschland, dass ich bei dir mein Traum leben kann. Which means like that Vietnam, mother country, Vietnam, just opened my path to the music world and to do what I love. And Germany allows me to live my dream right now on that stage. So I wanted to have like those both components of the Western world and the Eastern world, because like I want to show the world that I'm Vietnamese. I have Vietnamese roots and I'm proud of that.
Và quán quân thần tượng âm nhạc Việt Nam 2015 là Trọng Hiếu.
8 years ago, the Vietnamese German singer Trọng Hiếu touched the Vietnam Idol champion and brought to Vietnamese showbiz a new image of a male artist, vibrant, masculine, full of positive energy. However, it's more than vocals. Choreography is what makes Trọng Hiếu so popular. His charismatic, skillful dancing and positive energy make him stand out not only on stage but also in real life. Trọng Hiếu made history as the first Vietnamese artist to open the show at Video Days event in Cologne, performing in front of 17,000 spectators in 2017. And most recently, Trọng Hiếu collaborated with Kyle Tutin, who has been working with global stars such as Jennifer Lopez, Blackpink, and Big Bang, who is also the choreographer of Hiếu performance in Eurovision.
And it was my honor to work with Kyle Tutin on the choreography. He is English, but he's working a lot with Asian artists like K-pop idols like Blackpink or Twice. So which means like he is a inspiration for all of us too, because like, you know, he's like the mix of both as well. yeah, it doesn't matter where in the world. What matters is that we all want to create good art. That's what art is about, right? It's about like connecting people. It's about like getting over boundaries and limitations. Like there are no limitations in art.
The singer has consistently demonstrated his love for Vietnamese culture through his music and images. People can always find optimism, joy, and enthusiasm in Trọng Hiếu, making those around him caught up in that positivity.
Giờ đây là lúc con tim này được hát lên. Giờ đây là lúc tôi đang được là chính tôi. Dù cho ngày tháng còn đó như trong gai, ai biết được tôi vẫn đi về phía trước trên con đường tôi.
I'm just very excited that I think like that was kind of the start in the German music business and the European music business, and I would love to release even more songs for the European market, and yeah, but still keeping and still having like my work in songs for the Vietnamese market, and I just think it's gonna be an exciting time for all of us, for our team, and for all our fans all over the world. And yeah, I can't wait to do it, and I can't wait to spread love, positive vibes, inspirations to all the people all over the world. Yeah, follow me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, whatever, all the social media platforms to see, okay, and jump on this journey with me. This journey is not only for me, but I really do this for all of us, like for us Asians in the world, because like, you know, we Asians, we are very talented. We got it, and we have to show it, and we have to be self-confident with that, never give up, and really reach for the stars, because like you can make it, no matter how big and how high your dream is. So let's work hard, let's believe in ourselves, and everything is possible. I wish you so much luck and so much positivity to achieve your dreams. Mwah.
Though he was born in a family of doctors and medical workers, Brian Bui, a young Vietnamese American, decided to carve out his own path with his passion for traditional music. The image of a young man wearing áo dài performing đàn tranh at Stockton multicultural music festivals or giving lectures on Vietnamese folk instruments at many universities has brought Vietnamese tradition closer to international friends. Through this, he also discovered his own roots. In this edition of Connecting Cultures, we'll learn more about the story of a young Vietnamese American bringing đàn tranh to the world.
I've been playing đàn tranh since 2018. Traditional music really has helped me connect with my roots and learn a lot about Vietnam's history and culture just through the music. Growing up in America, I didn't really get to explore that side of myself. Being able to study đàn tranh really helped me to connect with that culture more.
Every year, Brian Bui organizes the Dan Cheng Showcase in Stockton, California. He wants to introduce music lovers to traditional Vietnamese music and culture through the sound of the Dan Cheng.
Đàn tranh is very different than the instruments I learned before. The left-hand technique was very challenging for me. It makes Vietnamese music so unique. It's the soul of Vietnamese music, and difficult at first because you are trying to hit a thin string with just 3 fingers, or you have to vibrate the string or hammer on the string a certain way to get the feeling.
Since graduating with high distinction in music composition at the University of the Pacific, USA, Brian has always tried to use the Dan Cheng in every song he composes. He has always had the support of his family and his teacher, meritorious artist Hai Phượng. They have been great sources of encouragement and have helped him love and understand traditional Vietnamese music better.
Bạn ấy đang ở xa nên là mình phải học qua online, nhưng mà bạn ấy có đam mê và có quyết tâm, cũng như là có sự yêu thích đối với lại cái cây đàn tranh. Là một người mà sống ở nước ngoài lâu, đầu tiên thì bạn ấy sẽ không có cái sự thẩm thấu của những giai điệu Việt Nam, nhưng mà qua một thời gian thì bạn ấy đã biết được rằng là phải đánh như thế nào để nó ra giai điệu của Việt Nam, và những cái kỹ thuật nào nó quan trọng để có thể nói lên tiếng Việt trên cái cây đàn của mình.
Bố của Brian là một người rất là thích nghiên cứu về văn hóa, lịch sử, âm nhạc, cho nên là giải thích ý nghĩa ca từ như thế nào và sự phát âm của từng vùng miền khác nhau ra làm sao. Do đó là con cũng nắm bắt được những cái điểm đặc biệt đó và trở nên ham thích.
Cái bài Lý Song Thương đó là đàn lên nghe rất là hay và cái điệu nhớ nhung dữ lắm.
Nghe buồn,
rất là buồn.
When I perform danchan for audiences in the US, I like to say a little bit about the pieces that I'm going to be playing, to give a little bit of the history and the culture behind it, because to understand the music, you have to understand a little bit more about the culture too. They were very excited to see it and listen to this music, and I hope that I can share it with even more people.
Although he studied and grew up in the US, Brian has always felt responsible for promoting Vietnamese traditional culture to the world. As a young person, Brian is always looking for new ways to incorporate traditional music into modern songs to make it easier to reach audiences.
Việc đưa âm nhạc dân tộc Việt Nam ra thế giới thông qua các bạn trẻ để có thể lan tỏa nhiều hơn, và nó đã làm cho các bạn đang sống ở nước ngoài tìm về cội nguồn qua những thanh âm dân tộc.
I plan on writing a short album of all original music that I want to represent myself. On having danchan on every track, and I hope to also go on tour to perform it live for audiences. Besides that, I hope to do a couple of workshops to help introduce this music to a younger generation.
Highly aware of his responsibility to preserve and promote Vietnamese culture and Vietnamese folk music in particular, Brian Bui has inspired others to embark on their own journeys to bring the rich culture of Vietnam to the rest of the world.
And that is the end of our program. If you'd like to catch us online, download the VTV Go app from your Google Play or App Store, or tune in our YouTube channel at youtube.com/VTV4Go for more of our programs. And don't forget to join us next week for another episode of Culture Mosaic. Goodbye for now.